Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Chris, and today I'm talking about this new possession movie called The Last Rite. I was praying it was going to be a good one. We'll get into it, but The Last Rite is about a young woman who moves in with her boyfriend. She apparently suffers from sleep paralysis, and then some supernatural hijinks ensue, and some possession stuff goes down. So, it's a pretty competent movie. It looks okay. I mean, the camera work is alright. Visually, it's pretty boring though, and I'm not sure if it's because the color grade, it's very desaturated, very somber looking, which I guess matches the tone, but a lot of time is spent in this house. It's kind of boring. And that's kind of my basic overall thought of this movie, is that it's pretty bland and boring. And unfortunately, it's just filled with every kind of trope and story beat you get from a possession movie without really bringing anything new to this thing. So, positives. Let's get into positives before we go negative. Like I was saying, the camera work, pretty good. It's competently shot. Sometimes the lighting is pretty good as well. The acting, hit or miss. Sometimes it's all right. Sometimes it's pretty bad. Pretty much it, and it's a shame because it's like there's negatives to some of the production quality and stuff like that if the movie was much more compelling, I wouldn't care at all. Meaning, like, there's some sound design stuff that's kind of cheap sounding, some soundtrack work. Like, at one point it sounds like this Christian rock song, and I'm like, this is fucking awful. But I would have forgiven it if I could focus and be distracted by more interesting storytelling. When the movie is extremely derivative of things you've seen before, you're just going to sit there and start nitpicking things because you're so uninterested in what's happening in the movie. So I'm okay. I'm good with slow burn movies. I know y'all get comments when there's a slow burn movie I didn't like that people will be like, you just don't like slow burn movies. I fucking love burning slowly, all right? Get off my back. I am a fan of slow burn movies when the payoff is worth it. Unfortunately, not worth it. That's the thing, like, Neil Blomkamp did that demonic movie, and while that didn't really work out either, at least it was trying something new with the possession demon kind of storyline. Like, they brought in this element of technology, and they had a different twist on it. And like I said, it didn't quite work because there was other issues with that movie. At least the premise alone felt unique and fresh. This is just tired old Exorcist basic storyline retold in a British setting in a house on a way lower budget with way worse production qualities, way worse effects, and way worse storytelling. And so at the end of the day, you're just like, okay, you told a not so great version of The Exorcist. It's cool. Going down through some of the bullet points of this, you have like the crisis of faith story beat in here. You have the woman who somehow writes down Latin text even though she's never known Latin before. You have cupboards opening when you turn around. You have the church who, goddammit, just can't authorize an exorcism at this time. They can't do it. You have a person hallucinating seeing gory things and body horror that's not actually there because it's all in their mind. It's like, okay, all of this stuff has been done before. What was actually kind of new to this movie was at one point she goes into the bathroom and is brushing her teeth and thinks that there's blood in her mouth, and she spits it on the sink, but her mirror, her bathroom mirror, is just kind of like sitting on a windowsill. Like, this sink is attached to a windowsill and there's no mirror in front. Like, I don't know what kind of fucking architectural design this was, but it was kind of unique and interesting. Like, that's where I'm at with this movie, where when I was watching it, I was like, wow, the way that mirror is sitting on that windowsill, that sure is different. I feel like I wasn't being invested in the movie if that's what's distracting me. Then you get into the possession demon stuff, and a lot of times it comes off as silly and cringy and not creepy. When I say a lot of times, I mean all of the times, unfortunately. And there's like all these cracking noises every time she moves, but it's not like she's moving her head in like an unnatural way a lot of times. It's just like she'll go like this, and you'll hear like, and like, just go to see a fucking chiropractor or some shit. Like, I don't know why her neck is cracking so much. If she was contorting her body in unusual ways, sure, that would be gross. You'd be like, oh my God, her bones are breaking because her body's not meant to turn that way. But if she's just going, maybe she just fucking has arthritis or some shit. I don't know. But it was annoying because they just kept doing it and it was a cheap sound effect. So again, it cheapened the movie. It cheapened the effect that they were going for there. You got upside down crosses. Never saw those in a possession movie. You know, when the cross flips over, you're like, oh my God, that's scary. All right, I got to take a step back because I'm getting super negative. I don't want to be super negative. I don't. The positives about this movie are the production team came together, made a very competent movie. Leroy Kincaide wrote and directed this thing. There's some good stuff going on with the direction. And there is an interesting mythos that they sort of start to paint about this guy with this giant hat. You know, the man with the giant yellow hat. And the whole time I'm like, where is the monkey? The monkey never shows up. But this mythos they start to introduce about seeing this giant guy with this hat is a cool visual that rarely comes up in the movie and eventually leads nowhere. So it's a little disappointing as well. Should have just went with something like that. Created this whole backstory to this thing instead of going into your standard demonic possession devil stuff, because that's where the movie ends up. And then we have like two real main characters. We have Lucy, who's very milquetoast, so much so her ineffectiveness, I guess, is part of her character, but it's very frustrating to watch. And then her boyfriend, who ranges from sympathetic to her to psychopathic, and I thought that was going to be a story beat, but I'm not sure if it was just his performance or the writing where it was unsure what it wanted to do with this character. Because at times he comes off as unhinged and crazy, and I thought, oh, maybe this supernatural man in the yellow hat is fucking, you know, spiritizing him with their, you know what I'm saying, like doing stuff, imposing spiritual evil on top of him. That went all over the place. That didn't sound at all what I needed to say. I can't even talk anymore. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that there was an influence there. Turns out, not so much. Just weird writing. Like, if you're going to perform an exorcism, too, I feel like I need to do it because I fear for my loved one's life and everything, so I need to get this demon out. But in this movie, they're like, we're going to do an exorcism. And then they go in the room and they've set up like 50 candles. I'm like, you spent the time setting up 50 candles. I thought the important thing was just to get the demon out. Are you telling me that it's necessary during an exorcism to have 50 candles set up? And see, again, that's so goddamn nitpicky of me to say that. Because, like, yeah, it's silly. But if the movie would have been interesting, I probably wouldn't have been picking that apart. I wouldn't have cared. Because it adds the ambiance of the room. It adds to, like, the feeling that they're trying to portray. It's just the fact that, like, I'm so uninterested in what's going on that I'm like, why would you do that? So, yeah, I wasn't a big fan. Again, there is potential for this team to do something really interesting. I just wish the story was a little bit more unique, not so derivative. Maybe went for it a little bit more in an interesting way. So, yeah, that's it for The Last Rite. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. I will catch you here next time, guys. Goodbye. Hey guys, it's Chris. I know some of you already have a heads up over the others because you've already liked the video and subscribed to the channel. To me, it's like a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't you do that? So like the video, subscribe to the channel, helps us out. Catch you here later, guys. Goodbye.